Part two of this story involves me being AWOL at home and whether or not the command finds out. So, without any fear in my heart, I catch a flight home. See, there's a big misconception about the military lifestyle. They think that we're G.I. Joes and we just go around shooting all day and throwing grenades and shit like that. I don't know what they do in the Army, you know what I'm saying? But in the Air Force and the Navy is a little more sophisticated as far as what you do. And shout out to my Marines. I was stationed with them for 2 years, and shout out to the Army, man. But we have regular jobs. It's like regular people. Now, your job depends on what you enlisted to do. We get up and go to work every morning, just like everybody else. The only difference is sometimes we deploy. And when we deploy, we do workups. Workups is like practicing to deploy. You want to be sharp when you go there. The only difference for me is I miss a lot of those workups because I was a Navy boxer. So that was my job for pretty much half the year. And that's just the way it goes. So anyways, so the Navy people that I work with thought that I was getting a ride from Lemoore, California to Fresno to fly from Fresno to LAX to ride up from LAX to Oxnard, which can be a crazy drive when there's traffic because LA traffic is crazy, but it's not a far drive. But in reality, I got a ride from Lemoore to Fresno to fly back home to Indianapolis and didn't look back. There was no fear. I already knew what I was going to do. I really didn't care. Kind of a fearless type of person. So I feared God, and that's it. So when I got here, mind you, I'm still a newlywed. My wife is finishing up college, and I wasn't thinking about boxing. So I come to Indianapolis, and me and my wife, we have a ball. I behave like a newlywed. You know what I mean? And when I'm not with her, I'm with my crew from back home. Maybe not the crew that's still in the streets, but my crew who likes to party and have fun. So, and that's what I did. Whenever panic kicked in, I remember calling my coach, Coach Ali. I pick up that phone and say, "Hey, Coach, we need to talk." He's like, "Meet me at the gym." So I met him at the gym. It wasn't a boxing gym. I remember this. It was the YMCA. And I explained to him what's going on, and of course he laughed. But he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll get you in shape. I'll keep you in shape." And it's really better because when I was in the Navy, my years of boxing, first and foremost, I want to say that the Navy has great coaches and great people, but it really didn't mesh with my style. And a fighter has to feel comfortable when he's in that corner, right? Your corner has to relax you. Your corner has to make adjustments. And the Navy boxing coaches were able to do that with a lot of people. But me coming from the Midwest and, and having that type of style, and these guys being California great Mexican fighters, trainers, it didn't really mesh with my style. But I love them as people, and I think they're good coaches, but never really felt comfortable. I never felt comfortable in the corner, and that goes a long way. With my coach from back home, who's more about boxing, who's more about timing, who's more about setting traps and things of that nature, which I got totally out of. If you look at me fight in the armed forces, none of that is who I am. If you looked at me fight before that, there was a lot of it in there, but I always had a dog in me. So before I get into the coaching, further into the coaching, let me say this. For everyone who's texting me, who's inboxing me, who's calling me, because my phone goes off so much, and 9 times out of 10 it's about sports or money, and I appreciate you. But for everyone who's texting me, could you please put it in the comment section? Whatever comment, because lately I've been getting texts, phone calls, inboxes about these videos, and I'm saying put it in the comment section because it's going to help me grow this channel. I'm not paying for followers. I'm not begging for followers. I don't care if I have 50 followers, 30 followers, 25 followers. Of course, I want more followers, but it's going to be done the right way. I want people who love boxing. This will be the only time that I talk about me. That's why I'm getting out of the way. This is a boxing channel. And I look forward to doing more intricate things like explaining why fighters do what they do, breaking down techniques of fighters. And that's going to happen when I get my editing team all set. Okay, but uh, as of right now, let me get these stories out the way. So I never felt totally comfortable with the Navy boxing coaches, even though they're great people and great coaches. That we just didn't mesh for whatever reason. And my coach is a coach who can get me ready. But this is how far I was removed from boxing. The whole time I was home, I saw my coach maybe 2 or 3 times. We did some work at the YMCA, some some conditioning, some plyometrics, some explosive drills. We didn't really touch on boxing, and he didn't pressure me. He understood. He knew my mind wasn't thinking about boxing. I would show up to the gym with a pizza in my hand, man. Cheese pizza. I didn't care about boxing, man. So point is, I was so far removed from boxing. It didn't matter to me. I was at home. I was drinking. I was partying. I'm gonna put a picture on here of me drinking and at home, and you can see how messed up I was. I really don't drink anymore, but back then I was drinking, and I was just tore up, man. The good thing is, I was still in shape as far as not in shape as a athlete. See, as athletes, we're different. Like right now, I'm so far out of shape. I have a little daddy gut, and I always tell my friends and my wife like I'm fat, and they laugh at me when they look at me and say you're so far from fat. So to an overweight person, they look at me and think I'm in shape. But for an athlete, we just think different because I'm still an athlete in my mind. I will always be an athlete. I still think like an athlete, right? So the good thing about me back then is I still walked around at 170 pounds, 172 pounds. I didn't making weight wasn't going to be an issue. I fought middleweight, so making weight wasn't going to be an issue at all. So after all the partying, drinking, eating bad food, I still only weighed 172, 173 pounds. And reality was starting to sink in. The consequences of my acts were starting to sink in. What could happen? I can get in trouble. I'll get a dishonorable discharge, or other than honorable discharge, I could do. Could be in Leavenworth. I've been AWOL for going on 90 days now, and this is ridiculous. So I advised the plan to just to show up, which sounds ridiculous. I talked to my coach, Coach Ali, and he told me just show up. He's like, "Well, you're still better than them dudes." And then you know what? That's right. I am. And as a fighter, you need to hear that. See, people think being a great trainer is just about knowing boxing and telling a person to do this and do that. No, you have to relax your fighter also. You have to give your fighter confidence also. You know what I mean? There's so much you have to do. It's almost like you're a psychologist and psychiatrist and a therapist and a trainer and a father figure. You're so much to your fighters, and that's who Coach Ali is and was to me. And he told me just go, you'll still beat them dudes. And he was right. So what happened was, I think it's like 3 weeks left in camp, and I called Steve Carvajal and I said, listen, coach, my command is telling me that since I'm short on time anyway, just show up. And if I make the team, I can compete. If not, just come back. I took my own leave time because I have a lot of leave time left, which is a lie, obviously. I was at home partying, and Steve doesn't know anything about the Navy. He's not prior Navy. Coach Silva's prior Navy, but by this time he's running his own business, and he really don't have time to be a head coach, so he's just an assistant. So it all worked out in my favor. So I called him. 3 weeks left in camp. He's like, "Yeah, show up. Come on, Abdullah, show up." And this is how much they love me on that team, and it makes me feel bad, but hey man, I had to do what I had to do. So I pop up, I look around, see who's on the team. We got some new guy. Okay, who's this? It's Brandon Wicker. Oh, okay, he looks pretty good. But he's not in my weight though. Okay, who else we got? It was a guy named Jason. I forget his last name. So they were thinking about having them at middleweight and light heavyweight, and I knew I had to take one of their spots, or my whole plan would backfire. And I had 3 weeks left, and I got there, and they made me box off for a spot. And I had to box Brandon, and I made the team. Brandon beat me, of course, because Brandon's a damn good fighter. He's a great fighter, actually. He's never medaled in the armed forces, but don't get it twisted. He's one of the best fighters in the amateurs. Got unconditional love for that dude. And he's supposed to beat me. I ain't trained. But it was competitive enough that they can say, oh, these are the best too. And Jason was the odd man out. And Jason went home. So, sorry to Jason, man. I know you never knew this story, and you are my Facebook friend. I'm going to tag you in this. That's fucked up. It ain't a diss. I'm just saying, you saved me, brother, because I was going to get in a lot of trouble because there is no way I can show back up to my command not making a team. Think about it. If I show back up to my command and tell them I didn't make the team, my command, who's so proud of my accomplishments, will call the Navy boxing team and ask what happened. And that's when shit will hit the fan. So that didn't happen. I made the team. And next, part 3, Armed Forces 2010. It is televised, just like in 2009. Big money here, going for gold. I didn't really give a damn about anything, but I'm here. I made it now. I'm back in California. Palm trees, beautiful people. having fun. My little brother's there, little Justin Diaz. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see him again. Ben Dobbs is not back. Javon is not back. Half the crew ain't back. It's a whole new bunch of characters. And that's why the Marines and the Army and these cats, they have advantages over us because they keep the same team. They got an A team, a B team. They got, you know what I mean? We just got who's coming out this year, who's coming, gonna let them go. I'm one of the few who can go pretty much every year. Uh, so I'm back with these cats. We getting it right. I dodged a bullet. I'm good, y'all. Part 3, 2010 Armed Forces Championships. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. Please hit my comment section up. I'm gonna leave my email on here also. All right. You can see I got a hotline already. I'm gonna leave my comments. I'm gonna leave my email in the description. One final thing before I leave, I want to send a special congratulations to the Wilsons. That's Cameron and Aaron Wilson. On January 28th, 2019, they welcomed baby boy Rylan Lee Wilson into this world at 11:02 a.m., weighing 7 pounds and 11 ounces. The mom, Erin, and the baby are doing fine, and Cameron is on cloud 9. Quiet Storm Boxing, we out.